Hello and welcome back to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Dumbest Moments of the Week. Well, AOC has got herself into quite a pickle this week by once again putting her foot in her mouth and saying something dumb on a live stream. This is something that she's been doing ever since she got famous, ever since she won that election 2 years ago. She's been going on live streams and saying dumb things. It's the kind of new trend with liberals. They love to do little live streams. Sometimes it's on their phone or their laptop or a device, a smart device, iPad, whatever it is. They do them at home. They try to be relatable. And sometimes they're in their kitchen. Sometimes AOC is like cooking or something. We've seen really funny moments from this, like the time she discovered what a garbage disposal was. Yeah, that's right. This is a woman who's never seen a garbage disposal, which means she's either really ignorant and doesn't pay attention, or she's never cleaned a dish in her life. Regardless, this is the kind of stuff that comes out of these moments, and we're going to check them out today and talk about one, specifically this one about how AOC recently said the reason crime is up is because people are stealing bread. It's really ridiculous. It's provably wrong. It has nothing to do with any basis in reality. Like, she's just kind of claiming that everyone's just committing crimes to save themselves and help themselves survive. Like, they're kinds of like Robin Hood criminals, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. But that's not the case at all. We have proof about that. We know the crime stats and what's been going on. So we're going to cover all that today and more. We're going to get to it real soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. Now's never been a more important time to be safe and get yourself a very effective and very useful face mask. That's why today I'm going to be very excited to tell you about this new deal coming from our friends at Freedom Mask. You can save up to 60% and order yourself a very stylish, very comfortable, breathable mask right now. And it has replaceable filters, which I really love. That's why I recommend using this great quality product from Freedom Mask. Click the link below and you could get yourself a Freedom Mask today, and you'll also be supporting this show while you do it. So thank you for your time. Enjoy the mask. You're going to love it. And for now, let's get back to the show. Great. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to this AOC tweet and video. From The Hill, it says AOC on increased New York City crime. Maybe this has to do with the fact that people aren't paying their rent and are scared to pay their rent. So they go out and need to feed their children and they don't have money. So they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry. Okay, so this is a first quote that's obviously bad. We're going to check the video soon too. But right out the gate, I mean, this is just a gross misinterpretation. We already know that petty larceny is down 7% across the country. That's a year-to-date number, meaning that crimes like stealing bread are down 7%. But murder, the real big crime that's a problem, that's up 27%. So the real problem isn't petty larceny. It's not stealing. It's murder and violent crimes. And you can't really justify that with what AOC said. Like, people aren't killing each other for bread. I mean, I guess I'm sure it might have happened a few times somewhere, maybe, but it's just not really the case. Like, the real case is people are getting violent in the streets. They're tearing down buildings and statues and fighting each other. They're getting race baited and kind of fed this bad information that's turning everyone chaotic, and they're hurting each other. They're attacking people. They're charging houses in St. Louis, going into private communities, threatening them with weapons and stuff. So really, this is AOC being wrong, for one, but also I think purposely wrong. I think she's purposely trying to explain away this crime rise because she knows it's her people and her constituents doing this. They're the people that are starting these riots and breaking stuff in the stores. She supports people like Black Lives Matter and Antifa. So she's really playing defense for the radical left. She's very extreme herself. She's very socialist and virtual communist, like all the way far to the left. And in addition, she supports these criminals vocally. She says they're doing the right thing. She defends them. Right here is the video and the quote where she's saying that their crime is to get bread and to survive, to not go hungry. But that's clearly not the case. Like, people are not committing murder because they want bread. Like, that's not the case at all. There's probably some theft and stuff going on around there, but from what I've seen, people are stealing like cars and TVs from Target. Like, we saw them raiding different stores and trying to take stuff from the dollar store. Like, it really had very little to do with like survival or like getting food to eat. It's not like we're talking about Aladdin. This is the example. The bread stealing example is like from the movie Aladdin where he steals bread at the market because he's trying to survive. But this isn't the case at all. Like you can't justify this. This is really, really bad actions. But AOC's defending them, and that's why she's looking really silly, and that's why we're going to be talking about it and going over this video. So, with that said, without further ado, let's see this video. It has over 2 million views, and I want to find out why.
Uptick in crime. Let me make something super clear for everyone here having this question. The New York City Police Department has not been defunded. Even with these budgetary changes that were proposed in City Council, A, they're not fully enacted. B, they aren't a real $1 billion in cuts.
So I could see her reading notes. She's got like notes next to her computer. She's looking to the side. She's gotten this all written down for her. Someone's given her talking points, and I don't even know if she really understands them. But that's besides the point. It's just she's playing defense. She's trying to course correct. She knows that the left looks really bad here. Like they've destroyed these cities. New York specifically has gone really bad, really downhill. De Blasio won't stop the crime. They're trying to take money away from the police. Like however they want to put it, they changed the name. Like she's trying to act like they aren't defunding the police now. They're just reallocating money, which is basically the same thing. Like taking their money away is what you would call defund. And if you have more crime, like we were saying, there's a 27% rise in murders. Like you want more cops, you want them to have more funds so that they can stop people, but they're taking money away, and that's what's causing the crime to go up. And I mean, on top of that, I think she's trying to prove that this change isn't happened yet. Like this change hasn't been enacted yet, so it's not causing what's going on right now. But it doesn't really fix anything. Like, first of all, this change even being suggested could cause this to happen. Like, just because it's not enacted, it's going to cause ripple effects. Like, for example, the criminals are going to be more emboldened. They're going to want to go out more and steal stuff because they know the cops are about to get defunded. And then on the other side, the cops are going to be less likely to want to work. They're going to start retiring and giving up and leaving their jobs or doing it halfway, like not wanting to give their full potential, like not working hard. Because why would you? Like, everyone's hating on the cops. They're trying to get you guys killed. Like, I wouldn't want to be out there right now. I could see why people are leaving in droves. And these are the real reasons what's going on. It's results of what's happened with the liberals. They're running this city. They're the mayor. They're the governor of the whole state. AOC is one of the politicians from New York City area. And yeah, they're running it into the ground. It's their fault. And she's just trying to deflect the blame.
And C, it's not really, like these cuts aren't really real. And again, they haven't even happened yet. Literally have not even happened yet. So keep in mind that this uptick in crime that's happening right now is with a $6 billion New York City Police Department budget. So our $6 billion up to $11 billion, but our $6 billion budget has not prevented this uptick in crime.
Okay, I'm not sure what she's going with there. I think she's saying, I don't know, I'm kind of baffled by this. Like the stupidity is hurting my head, hurting my brain. Let me just think for a second. Basically, she's saying the government, the police budget is $6 billion and they still can't stop these crimes. But her argument to take away more money contradicts that, because it's like, okay, so if they can't stop it with $6 billion, they probably need more money. They need more cops. But she wants to take away money because she just doesn't think the cops work. And it's just like a contradictory mindset. Like, that's why I'm like, what is going on here? Because she's saying it doesn't work with the $6 billion, so we're going to take away more money and put it somewhere else. Like, how else are you going to stop the crime? That's what I wonder. Like, you really think like social workers? Like, I think they have some baloney idea that like these social workers or EMTs or like therapists are going to stop the crime. It's just totally insane. And it doesn't match up. It's just a total contradiction. And then the other thing is, like I explained, like she acts like these changes didn't happen, which I'm sure that's probably true in some cases. Like the budgets are still going on. Like they already have their budget from last year. They're using that money now. Like this doesn't happen right away, immediately. But as I said, like there are implications, there are ripple effects. So once they start talking about this, the crime goes up because the criminals know the cops are on their way out. The cops don't want to try as hard anymore. They don't want to risk their lives for people that hate them. So they start leaving their jobs. We get worse cops. Like it could be affecting things even though it's not enacted. And that's what she's ignoring and what she's trying to get away with. She's trying to sneak it by.
We have funded more and more. We have shoved more and more and more money every single year into the NYPD, $6 billion. And it has not prevented this uptick in crime. So why, but let's back up. Why is this uptick in crime happening? Let's really think about it. Well,
Okay, she's going to have a BS explanation, but we know the real reason the crime is going up because they're trying to defund the police. The liberals are emboldened right now. There's been this race baiting, and they're not getting arrested when they commit crimes, so they're just doing more crimes. You know, like they get let out. De Blasio is releasing everyone that was at protests or taking down statues. Like the system has just totally been destroyed and it's corrupted, and that's why the crime is up. The liberals can't run their city, and they're handicapping the cops. They're trying to take away more money. They're calling the cops racist and all this stuff. And, AOC is going to have a bogus explanation. We already know part of it from that quote earlier, but the real reason the crime is up is because of the left, and they're committing more crimes, and they're telling each other to commit crimes, and they're saying, hey, go protest in the streets, tear down this statue. But that's not what she's going to say, of course. Like, she's not going to identify this reality, this obvious reality, because she's trying to defend criminals. She's trying to defend liberals and get votes and fake this whole thing.
Uptick in crime, the NYPD themselves have told a story that's disproven by their own data. At first, the NYPD, they went out and they said, okay, this uptick in crime is happening because of bail reform, because of all of these reforms that we had now. Wait, but they just released data a couple weeks ago that showed that out of almost all the people who have been found to have kind of committed crimes, etc., almost none have been re-released due to the bail reform.
Okay, now she's talking about bail, which is another problem. I don't know why she pretends that's not a problem. Like the way that the liberals are trying to change the bail system is just going to get more criminals on the street. And then the other thing is we got to consider they're letting criminals out of jail straight up because of the virus and stuff. Like that's another bad left-wing plan. Like they tell us all to wear masks and they act like the masks will save us, but then they release the criminals. And then what do you think the criminals are going to do now that they're back on the streets? They got nothing going on. They're just going to commit more crimes. So all this stuff is happening because of liberal policies and liberal propaganda and their agenda. But AOC's got some notes. She had some Justice Democrat handlers make up some excuses, and that's what she's reading off on her silly live stream.
Their actual crime data from the NYPD, not even independent data, disproves what they're saying. So why is this uptick in crime happening? Well, let's think about it. Do we think this has to do with the fact that there's record unemployment in the United States right now? The fact that people are at a level of economic desperation that we have not seen since the Great Recession? Maybe this has to do with the fact that people aren't paying their rent and are scared to pay their rent. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
So there's the famous quote, the very silly idea that people are stealing bread. And as we said, we have data that says petty larceny is down 7% and murder is up 27%. So the uptick in crime isn't really to do with people stealing bread or stealing anything for that matter. It's violent crime. It's very, very dangerous people hurting each other in the streets with, just bad intentions. It's racism. It's this whole buildup from the liberal left. They're pushing this kind of propaganda. And yeah, AOC is a big part of it. She's pushing lies here. She's trying to defend criminals who she wants released. She wants out of jail. She wants to not give them bail, not make them have to pay bail, like just let out all the criminals. And she wants to let in all the immigrants too. Like it's just bad policy making. And she's trying to defend it because, she works there. Part of this is on her and she's pushing these agendas too. Like that's her biggest crime is this propaganda push. And the fact that, she's got this celebrity image now, she's got this big Twitter and everything, and she uses it for all the wrong reasons. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button to get this shared. And until next time, have a great day.